गीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ धूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अचरज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति हूँ लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संभारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
राजप्रियम् धर्म संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना पुर में हम सब धारे, पुर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को, राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ।
Jai Shri Krishna and a hearty welcome to all the sadhaks who have anxiously gathered here to unfold the secrets of the unperishable, the indestructible and absolute Akshara Brahma Yoga, the 8th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. On behalf of Geeta Parivar, this is Madhushri Timble offering you a hearty welcome. Let's invoke this session by remembering and bowing down at the feet of Parampita Jagadish Bhagwan Shri Krishna and also to Swami Govindadev Giriji Maharaj, the founder of Geeta Parivar. Let's start with a prayer. And to recite this prayer, I invite Asha Ji Rathi. Asha Ji is from Ahmedabad. She is a postgraduate who opted to be a homemaker. She keeps herself busy with Bhagavad Gita studies and Adhyatma. She is a meticulous volunteer of Geeta Parivar since January 2021 and is serving as a core trainer and examiner. Jai Shri Krishna, over to you, Asha Ji. Please unmute. आशा जी आप अनम्यूट कीजिएगा। अनम्यूट कीजिएगा आशा जी। हाँ अभी अभी ठीक है।
सॉरी दीदी।
नहीं,
जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। Thank you, Geeta Parivar.
Beautiful recitation, Asha ji. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। Creating light for others is the best way to light our own way. Physically, light reveals vitality and beauty of nature. Spiritually, light gives hope, love, peace, and trust. Let's now illuminate our session, and for this, I call Dr. Shraddha Ji Ranjan. Dr. Shraddha Ji is from Patna and holds a prestigious doctorate degree. She joined Geeta Parivar since April 2021 and works as a technical assistant and co-trainer. Shraddha Ji, आपका दीप प्रज्वलन शुरू किया जाए।
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदा नुमः।
Thank you, Dr. Shraddha Ji Ranjan, for this beautiful Deepa Prajwalan. And now it's time to invite a very, very soft-spoken, stupendous, and yet humble speaker to unfold the Akshara Brahma Yoga. Shraddha Raodeo Didi. A small introduction of this great personality. Shraddha Ji currently resides at Hyderabad. She is an electronic engineer and a postgraduate diploma in IT management. After working for several years in this sector, Shraddha Didi has now devoted her services to Bhagavad-Gītā and Geeta Parivar. She trains sadhaks offline for nearly a decade and online trainer for last 3 years. She is a disciple of Swami Govindadev Giriji Maharaj. We all await her interpretations eagerly due to their simplicity and relationship with the roots and basics of our daily life, and their importance to beautify our life and make it a joyous affair. Welcome, Shraddha Didi, and over to you.
Thank you. Madhusri Didi, very nice seeing you. Beautiful Prajwalan and a very beautiful prayer also. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you. Today we will be discussing a very beautiful chapter, but before that, let us remember Swamiji and Sri Krishna and seek their blessings for the session ahead. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniam Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad-Gītē Bhavatveshinim. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Sorry. So we all are towards the end of this ongoing level 4, and I wholeheartedly first congratulate each one of you, all those sadhaks of level 4. This opportunity to learn Bhagavad-Gītā in itself is a godsend. I will not even call it an opportunity, it's a blessing. It's a beautiful blessing. This is something which very few people in the entire world get. And you all are lucky that we had a chance to interact and learn Bhagavad-Gītā so beautifully. And more than that, not only just this birth, with whatever we have learned, whatever sanskar that we have got through Bhagavad-Gītā are going to enlighten not only this life, but many more lives that we will be living ahead also. By many more births, this entire study is going to enlighten and uplift our upcoming births. And when we talk about birth, the next birth comes a very sensitive topic of death. And this is the topic which is elaborately discussed in the chapter that we plan to discuss ahead, and that makes this chapter a little serious chapter. It is, in Sanskrit or in our native Indian language, we'll say Gambhir Vishay. It's slightly serious because of the topic that we deal with. So here on the onset, we have to first understand that it is a serious topic because we make it appear very serious. But now you all are level 4 sadhaks. You have seen the bigger picture of our own existence. You have understood life in a very different perspective. And that should not make this a very serious topic. This should be a more enlightening topic for each one of us. Bhagavad Gita, so far, we have all known, is the art of living. It's not only the art of living, but also the art of leaving this world. And this in itself is a very important topic. And why so? We will gradually look at it in the shlokas that we'll be discussing today. Now, Bhagavad Gita is basically, we all know, it is a conversation like what we have with each other, with your friends. You will have a deep conversation. Now, this is also a very deep conversation that Sri Krishna and Arjun, two best friends known so far, one of the best pairs of teacher and a shishya, student, we have seen so far. This is the best pair. They are discussing something very important, very intrinsic, and very useful for each one of us. So it is a conversation. When Sri Krishna was telling Bhagavad Gita, he will start, okay, Arjun, I'm telling you the first chapter now. Okay, now here the first chapter is ending. This is the second chapter is beginning. That's not how Bhagavad Gita was discussed. It was discussed at one go. The topic started and it was a conversation. Arjun kept asking his question and Sri Krishna kept replying. We all are aware. This division of the different chapters has been done by Bhagwan Vedavyasji. And it has been done for whom? For us, for our benefit. Because we have a very limited intellect. And the entire conversation, imagine now, if these adhyayas were not there and Bhagavad Gita was a book of all 700 shlokas together given to you, how difficult would it have been for us to comprehend it? Starting from Arjuna, from Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, till the last shloka, all 700 shlokas. Some people find it so difficult to even sit and read second chapter or 18 chapter at one go. 78 shlokas also took in one reading. They start getting breathless. 700, how difficult would it have been to study? So, for our better understanding, Vedavyas Maharaj has done this entire division of chapters, and rightly so. So what the note of the very beginning of this 8th chapter, the name of this chapter is Akshara Brahma Yoga. This chapter, the roots of this chapter are in the last two shlokas of the 7th chapter. The 7th chapter we know Jnana Vijnana Yoga. It's a very beautiful chapter, a very in-depth chapter, and towards the end of the chapter, when Sri Krishna is concluding a certain topic, he has spoken about few elements. We know 7th chapter is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. It is going to help a person understand this eternal Brahma, the God himself, in totality. So in the entire 7th chapter is focused around understanding Bhagwan Shri Krishna, understanding the Brahma, understanding Bhagwan, understanding the God. While we are trying to understand the God, while explaining all these terms, Shri Krishna has used certain terms. What are the last two shlokas? What are those terms? In the last two shlokas of the 7th chapter, he has said, Jara Marana Mokshaya Mama Shrityaya Tantiye Te Brahma Tatvidukritnam Madhyatmam Karma Chakilam Sadhi Bhutadhi Daivam Mam Sani Yajnai Chaye Viduhu Prayana Kale Pichamante Vidur Yukta Chetasaha. Here Shri Krishna has used certain terms where he has said that a person who understands these terms, Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, when a person who understands these terms are the glorious existence of God himself. So he say characteristics, different characteristics, different glorious characteristics of God. And he has said, the one who remembers me with this entire glory of mine, at the end of his life, They will what? Prayana kale pichamai te vidur yukta chetasa, they will attain me. Now, when these terms are introduced, Arjun is confused. Shri Krishna has told Arjun that whatever I have told you till now, you will, understanding all those things, you will know me. How? In totality. This he has told in the second verse, asamshayam samagram mam, without any doubt. And in totality, you will get to understand me. And Shri Krishna wants us also to understand him in totality. And this is not a very easy thing. Okay, all this entire chapter, there are certain topics which we'll find very difficult, but we should make an attempt to learn them. Eventually, we will get to learn them. Shri Krishna wants us to go to that depth and understand him. So he has introduced these terms. Now, one who knows those will get what? Asamshayan samagram. Without doubt, he will understand the God himself. And he has said, by remembering me, while leaving this mortal world, what will happen? He can attain the all this divine abode where he is going. Now, when Shri Krishna has used this word, now Arjun is a Kshatriya. He is of course having a lot of knowledge of Vedas and all, but he is a Kshatriya, not very well versed with all. He's quick enough, and a good student that he is, he's quick enough to ask the meanings of these terms. These terms basically, they are the very basic definitions, so certain very basic definitions of the words that are very normally, you can say they are technical terms of the Vedanta. These are some of the technical terms, like we all are meeting on Zoom, right? I have a laptop in front of me. You all might be having a phone or a computer or something. And we are all meeting. A person who is operating it has to know the technicalities. Where is the mouse? What is the mouse? What is the keyboard? Unless we know the basics, it's going to be difficult to operate the computer. Similarly, unless we know these basic technical terms, it is going to be difficult to understand what Shri Krishna is trying to explain us. The same difficulty Arjun had, and on our behalf, thankfully so, he asked it to Shri Krishna. And there begins the first chapter. Om Shri the first shloka of the 8th chapter. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. Atashtamodhyayah. And he posts his questions to Shri Krishna. Arjuna uvacha. Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam. Kim karma purushottamam. Adhibhutaincha kim proktam. Adhidaivam kim uchyate. Adhiyagnya katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha kathain nyeyosi niyatatmabhih. Such beautiful questions have been asked. What are the questions? So, by knowing God alone, he has told that we can feel the completeness of why these questions are important. We should also, one, I told you that we will be understanding the God in totality. That is one purpose. Why should we understand the God in totality? By understanding God, we will be able to understand we will be able to feel the completeness of our existence. See, a human form is a very important form. It's only in this form that we'll be able to understand the God. So the very purpose of our existence, you can say, is solved by understanding God himself. And hence these questions are extremely important. And we have to understand. These are some basic terms used in Vedanta. Which are the 6 terms that he has asked about? Brahma. Then Adhyatma, Karma, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, and Adhiyagnya. And these are the 6 terms that Arjun has asked about. And apart from these 6 terms, he has also asked one more question about how to remember you at the time of death. So what are the 6 questions? There are 6 basic questions, and apart from that, one very important question he has asked. The 6 questions are Kin Tad Brahma. The first question, Kin Tad Brahma. Second, Kim Adhyatmang. Third question, King Karma. What is karma? Adhibhutancha Kim. What is Adhibhuta? And then Adhidaivam Kimuchyate. What is known as Adhidaiva? And Adhiyagnya Katham. Where is Adhiyagnya? Who is Adhiyagnya? What is Adhiyagnya? And the 7th question is, the moment one leaves the world, Shri Krishna has told in the 7th chapter that while leaving, if somebody remembers all this glory of mine and also remembers me, then he will attain me. So obviously Arjuna is asking, the moment when one leaves the world, how will I remember you? So basically here, what is Arjuna trying to understand? He's trying to understand the science of death. The entire Shastra around death, he is trying to understand how to do this, how to leave gracefully enough that we remember you while leaving. See, everyone has to leave this body at one point of time. No matter how, sadly we look at it or with what perspective we look at it, but the ultimate truth, when a person is born, they will make Janma Kundali, what they will do when the child grows up, what will be lucky for him, how will his wife be, how many children, what not details. People try to find out. But at the same time, his time of death is also fixed, and that is equally important. And so, how is the body released, and why it is important? Because there is a further journey. So, for the larger benefit, how that end moment has to be achieved, how the end moment has to be, successfully passed, is the question, 7th question that Arjuna has asked. Now, since I told you, these are common terms of the Vedanta. These are some technical terms used in Vedanta. So the first 6 questions that Shri Krishna has been asked, Bhagavan has given very basic definitions of these. And the 7th question, which is a very important question for us. So the question has a lot of importance, mostly for us. That question he will answer in detail throughout the chapter. So for Shri Krishna, without any further delay, explains the answer. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavotthyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaro Visarga Karma Sanjitaha. Here Shri Krishna is trying to give an in-depth knowledge of his own personality. We've discussed in the 7th chapter, Shri Krishna is trying to explain that you have to understand me in totality. Asaunshayam samagram. Samagram is in totality, and asaunshayam is also a very important point. See, we have to understand the 7th chapter also, certain points very nicely to know the 8th chapter also. And there he has said asaunshayam. There should be no doubt about me. Else if anybody has any doubts, you should be able to clear them. How should your understanding about God be? That you don't have any doubt about his existence. You understand his entire glory completely. And if anybody else also has the doubts about him, you should be able to clear it. There was this small boy, Narendra, not very small, a young boy, Narendra, who was looking for God. We all know he was looking for God all over India. He wanted to walk and he wanted to travel and understand, does God really exist? Where is he existing? And in all this crowd, there was one old illiterate person in Dakshineshwar, but a mighty great person. But from the looks of it, from the world that we live in, if we go by our standards, old and illiterate man, his knowledge of God was not only Samagrama, but also Assumption. What he replied to this young man, Narendra, Pari, I have, as clearly as I see you, I have seen God. The clarity with which I am seeing you, with the same clarity I have seen God, and why only me? I can show it to you also. That is Assumption. That was knowing without any doubt. So to understand me in that way, you should know what is Brahma and the all other terms. So the Arjun's question here is Kim Tat Brahma? And the answer is just a 3-word answer. Shri Krishna replies, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. See, Shri Krishna has told it in 3 words. 3 words were enough for Arjun to understand, but for us, we have to understand. And only to understand this particular one word, Brahma, we might have to invest our entire life to understand this one word, Brahma, also in totality. The entire Brahma Sutras that are written, there are around 500, and there are 555 Brahma Sutras which are composed by Bhagwan Maharshi Vyas. And in this entire 555 Brahma Sutras that are composed and written by Bhagwan Veda Vyasji are all based on this one quest of just this one word, that is Brahma. They start with Athatu Brahma Jigyasa. This is all the Jigyasa, the curiosity about Brahma is what is going to be covered in all these 555 Brahma Sutras. So many are explaining only this one word. We have our own limitations. I particularly have no knowledge of that. But with whatever I have understood from Swami Govindadev Giriji Maharaj and our respected senior members of Geeta Parivar and the different books that I managed to somehow grab and understand, I will try my level best to explain a little bit of what I have understood. But to a certain extent, we should try. This might be a little difficult, but it's very important for us to make an effort to understand these. The extent, now there is a trick behind it. I don't know whether it should be called a trick, but the capacity to understand this also depends on the capacity of your imagination. Okay, very clearly I'll tell you the extent to which a person can understand the word Brahma. It depends on your capacity to imagine. The capacity to imagine is really put to test here. Aksharam, that is this one word he has said, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. This penultimate element, which is called Akshara, is the Brahma, which is Akshara, and that is called Brahma. How is this? It cannot be destroyed. It cannot get decreased in any which way. So this one element, how is this one element Brahma? It is Sarvatra and Sarvada. Sarvatra means it is everywhere. It is everywhere. So that means it is talking about the space. Irrespective of the space, it is present everywhere. And Sarvada means at all times. So at all times means it is always present to space and time. Cannot bring any distortion to this element called Brahma. Are you getting it? It is because it is existing at all times, the time is bringing no distortion to it. Because it is present everywhere, the space is not making any distortion or any deformation to it. Let us try to understand with a small example. No example, before that I'll give a small disclaimer. No example is, appropriate enough to understand Brahma, but the magnitude of Brahma. But let us take a small example by which it will help us understand understand the concept. And then with your imagination, you have to make it vast, so vast that it covers all the universes and whatever you can imagine beyond that. So the example is not actually Brahma, but it is good enough to understand the basic concept. And that example is of the sky. Now you have seen the sky, what all can happen in the sky when now Diwali times will be there. There will be fireworks in the sky. Recently we had storms. In the storms, there are so many clouds, rains, lightnings, everything. So many things are happening in the sky. But irrespective of these, the sky remains how? It remains distorted. So all the creation, all the sustaining of the clouds, the rains, so the clouds are getting formed, they are dropping rains, and then it is becoming clear. There are fireworks in the sky, there are jet planes flying, and whatnot is happening around. All these activities are happening within the sky, within that, but however, it is not having any distortion. It doesn't affect the capacity of the sky. It is not like if now 5 clouds have occupied the sky has become any smaller. No. The sky is becoming any larger by when you see the size of the plane becoming small, the sky is becoming, it is same. It is remaining unchanged. And that is how Brahma is. All the activities of this nature, whatever we are seeing is happening around us in this mortal world, is what is happening inside the Brahma. The world is getting created, earth is getting created, universes are getting created. Now I told you, it is a test of your imagination. Let's see how wild it can get. We created our houses, the earth, the sun, the entire solar system, universes, how many Milky Ways, how many galaxies, etc., etc. This entire Srishti. To the last, depth, how far your imagination goes. This entire creation, evolution, operation, destruction, dissolution, everything is happening under what? In the envelope of this Brahma. So imagine how all encompassing, how pervasive this one element is. And all this is happening, and just like the sky, this element itself is not getting touched. This element is not getting distorted. And as I told you, sarvatra and sarvada, no matter how many yugas have come, no matter how many millions, and forget about millions of years, how many millions and millions of light years. You all understand the concept of light years. Light years is such a huge time beyond our imagination already. But in so many light years also, even in that much context of time, in that humongous context of space, the entire Brahma is remaining unaltered. So that which is unaltered by space, time, which is always there and which is always there everywhere, is Brahma. Now, just to relax, we understand God from a very small perspective. We understand everything and all at larger. So when we think about, God, when we think about knowing something, why our understanding of Brahma remains incomplete, how we can understand that? See, we know our children very well. We have Yashoda Maya. Yashoda Maya used to love Krishna so much. She knew my small little Kana, notorious little Kana, who extremely lovable little Kana. That was the Kana Shri Krishna that she knew. Now one day he ate mud. After eating mud, she said, "Open your mouth, open your mouth." Ha ha ha. When he opened, and there is an entire universe. And Yashoda Maya fainted. She knew whom she had knowledge about Sri Krishna, but she didn't have a complete knowledge that he is the real Parabrahma himself. So this is another thing we have to understand. There are two adjectives that are used for Brahma here: Aksharam, which we have tried to understand, and Paramam. Paramam means the supreme. Nothing is more superior than this. Sri Krishna himself, when Yashoda Maya saw that he is the Param Brahma himself, she was shocked because she knew him as a small little Kana. That is the identity. That is the limited knowledge. Limited knowledge we also have, and we don't know what is Brahma. And the Brahma that we would try to know, whenever we get to know, it is going to be so much more beyond our imagination. Just to make things simple, one very beautiful definition Swamiji gives. This is probably, he says, the simplest definition of Bhagwan that one can ever have is, what is the English word for Bhagwan? God. God. So he says the simplest definition of God is G-O-D, the power that generates the universe. G. O, the power that operates the universe. And D, the power that destroys or dissolves the universe. G-O-D, generation, operation, and destruction. All that is done by that one Parama Shakti, that one superior, by one supreme power, and that power is Brahma. Imagine the sky again. These they don't affect, no matter how many birds are flying, what is happening, the world is born, destroyed, everything is happening. It is not affecting the, see, nuclear bombing, all that had happened during the Second World War. Nothing had any impact on the sky, no matter how huge the thing is. Similarly, no matter how much is happening in this world, Brahma is not getting affected. Why? Because it itself is generator, the operator, and also the destroyer of this entire universe and everything within the universe. It is so pervasive. What is the next question? Kim Adhyatma. So question is, Kim Adhyatma. Now, by our general, understanding, we say Adhyatma, chanting, bhajans, and all that we call Adhyatma. But in the truest, correct, most sense, Sri Krishna has answered this question. The answer he gives is Swabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate. Swabhavaha Adhyatma Uchyate. What he says, Swabhava. Now, what we, our understanding of this word Swabhava is also very shallow. So we say, "Arey, uska swabhav hi aisa hai." Uska swabhav hi aisa hai, matlab kya? What we will say is his nature is like that, and we have equated it to nature. But what exactly does swabhava mean? Swasya bhavaha is swabhava. Swasya, your own self, your own bhava. What is that own bhava? Now, that subtle presence of what? That divine and all-pervasive power. Okay, we are talking about Brahma. There is a very subtle, small, presence of, a small ounce of that, a small, particle of that a big power has its presence within us. And that subtle presence of that divine, all-pervasive power within us is known as Adhyatma. That is the Swabhava, Swasya Bhava, the Bhava that I have within me. Now, the nature that we were saying, Mera Swabhav aisa hai, this is my Swabhav. What we say, that is a very superficial one, which we get out of the interaction with the three gunas. You all know Rajogun, Sattvagun, Tamogun. Because of that, what happens? That is a, by birth, what we get, that is a different thing. But here what we mean is Swabhav, our own, the representation, I can say, the representation of that Brahma within us, the small amount of representation of Brahma within us. Now, this is also a little difficult to understand. How do we understand this? We know America is a very big country. India is a very mighty country. Suppose today India wants, he's sitting here, you want to say something to the America. Okay. So, don't take everything very literally. I'm just giving an example. So you want to say, can you just shout me sitting in Hyderabad and saying something, or me just taking a mic, opening a meeting, saying no. What, if anything has to be communicated there, we'll approach what? The nearest embassy center, the nearest embassy, and then address our issues through a particular proper channel and get it addressed to America. So the nearest embassy, the nearest station, The nearest embassy of Brahma is within us, and that is our Swabhava, and that is Adhyatma. The nearest location, the nearest station that of Brahma within us is Adhyatma. The station of what? The station of that vast and extensive Brahma is very much within us, and that is Swabhava. This also Shri Krishna has told us earlier. Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. He has already told. Mama eva ansha. It is in you. Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. It's already there in each one of you. That is the nearest station of Brahma Paramatma within us, and that is Adhyatma. Suppose if you want to know it, what will be the best thing to do? Understand what? So going to now see, I see some people here from Mumbai are there, some are from here. Now, if somebody wants to understand, I'm assuming someone is living in Mumbai, and he wants to see how a sea is, sea as an ocean, or where will they go? Will they, leave from Bombay, go all the way to Calcutta, and then go to Kanyakumari? What is the nearest station to them? Where is the nearest view of sea they will get? On the Bombay marine line only, isn't it? So we'll visit the nearest. So if we want to understand something, we'll go to the nearest station. If I want to see the lake, it's okay, we'll go visit beautiful lakes also. But first thing, if I want to show my small child how a lake looks like, I'll take them to the nearest lake and not directly to the Dal Lake. So we will, if we want to understand Brahma, where is the nearest station to look for? Correct. All of you on video doing this are very intelligent. So simple, see. We have to look within ourselves. The easiest way is, how sea looks like. How we will go to the nearest seashore. The easiest way to look is Atmanam Vidhi. Atmanam Vidhi. Know yourself first. By knowing yourselves, by knowing your inner selves, you will know whom? Him. Isn't it? We want to even understand. Suppose again, sea, becoming very favorite, sea, sky. The sea, suppose we want to know how is the taste of the sea. Will you imagine drinking the whole tea just to know the taste? What will you do? You can just take a small, and you'll just take a small bite of the one salt sip of sea water. You will know the taste of the entire river, entire sea, isn't it? Suppose now most of us are housewives and all, and while cooking, if you want to see whether the rice is cooked, do you keep checking each grain of rice? No, we'll just see a sample. Oh, it is cooked. The top part, this much is cooked. Fine, means the rice is cooked. We will not examine the entire sample of the rice. Similarly, if you want to understand Brahma, then if we understand that small part of him within us, that is good enough to understand him to a great extent. So, what Sri Krishna has explained in the first answer, Aksharam Brahma Paramam, such a vast definition. He has himself simplified it slowly now. That understanding becomes a little smaller. Svabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate. Somebody who knows that, for him understanding Aksharam Brahma Paramam will be easier. So what you have to understand now? Your own Svabhava. We have to understand our own self, with ourself which is lying within ourselves. So that answer has become a little simplified. And Bhuta Bhavo Bhavakaro Visarga Karma Sanjataham. Bhuta Bhavo. Now here the word Bhut. Bhut doesn't mean the Bhut, Pret, ghost. Okay. Bhut means us. Okay. The Bhut means what? The one which got made, basically. One which is made. That is Bhuta. Okay. Pancha Mahabhuta. They are also called Bhuta. So whatever we are seeing around us is basically what made out of these Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. Now, if something is made, somebody has made it. For instance, say now I'm wearing a watch. If I tell some small child, hey, see, do you see this? What is this? It is a watch. This watch has come out of itself. There is nothing. Nobody has made it. And then they will say, oh, this auntie has gone. What she's saying, nobody has made. Somebody has made the watch. Some factory, something has come together to make that watch. It has not appeared from nowhere. So when this mortal world is existing, there is something which has made it. Now, whenever we say there is a creation that has happened, basically there are two ways of creation that we can think about. One is a way in which the potter makes the pot. What does he do? The potter will make a pot. He will use some ingredients to make it. Once the pot is made, he will move away. The potter is not a part of the pot, but the mud is the remaining as a part of the pot. Okay, so this is one type of creator who has made and then separated himself from the creation. Another type of creation is the one that from which the curd is made. Milk, with the help of milk, the curd is made. The creator remains. We cannot say that after the curd is made, the milk is gone. The milk is taken away from the curd. No, it is still very much in the milk, isn't it? So the creator is remaining within the creation. The way in which this world is created is a combination of both these types of creation. The creator is also there, and the creator is very much present in the creation itself. So the God has actually transformed himself into this world, and that is why he is present amongst each one of us. He is present in every jivatma, every bhuta, bhutaha, bhava, udbhavaha, karaha. Everywhere, all the bhuts that have been made, all the work that has been done by him. So he is existing everywhere. Now, when here we are trying to understand the definition of karma. Now, here, since we are trying to understand God, we are also trying to understand Bhagavad karma, the karma of the God, not just our karma. Here, he is talking about this entire creation, this process of creation and destruction that we have been talking about. That is karma. And our karma, what we do, is in line with what is the karma of the God. Whatever he has created, we have to protect it, act according to it, follow the rules of the nature, so on and so forth. Further, adhibhutang. So till now we have seen, up till karma he has answered. What is Brahma, then what is adhyatma, and what is karma. Further, Shri Krishna explains, adhibhutang ksharo bhava purushas chadhidaivatam adhyagnyo hamevatra dehe dehavratam varam. What he's saying, dehe dehavratam vara. This is the address he's doing to Arjun. Hey Arjun, how are you? Dehe dehavratam. Amongst the ones who are, carrying this body, who are having this body, the best among them, vara, means one who is the best amongst the dehadharis, amongst the human beings, the one of the noblest among the human beings. You are the one who has the capacity to understand. That's how beautifully he is addressed. Deha deha pratamvara. See, this has been addressed to Arjun. What he is telling? He's telling the definition of adhibhuta first. Adhibhutang ksharo bhava. Adhibhutang. Kshara. Now there are two words. Before this we have seen aksharam, brahma, paravam. Akshara. What was the meaning of akshara? Something that doesn't get destroyed, that doesn't get decreased. It doesn't, it's not destroyable. Now here comes the word kshara, which basically means perishable, which means something that can get not easily, but which gets gradually or easily destroyed. Something which gets destroyed. So in answer to what adhibhuta is, Sri Krishna is telling what? It is adhibhutang ksharo bhava. Means the perishable universe, it is consisting of what? The 5 subtle elements. Whatever is kshara, perishable. This whatever is made out of these 5 elements is kshara. It is going to be perishable. Which is made of what? Earth, water, fire, air. Using these five elements, whatever is made is Adhibhuta. Now, this is also a very interesting thing. Everything is a mixture of these five elements. Suppose we were talking about the sea and you take this glass of sea water and inspect it. Is it the water? It's only water. These five elements do not exist anywhere in singularity in this world. What has happened is they are all mixed up and this entire nature has come up. This Prakriti is made out of this five. When we talk about sea water, the amount, the percentage of water tattva, the water is high, but all other elements, it has air also, it has earth particles also. So that the percentages will be varying. So everything around us is a mixture of all these five elements, and anything, how this is done and all, it's a very complicated process. But whatever is around us is made out of these five elements, and everything that is made out of mixture of these five elements is going to be what? It is perishable. It is constantly changing. It is of a mutable nature, means changing nature, and it is perishable, means it can be destroyed. So what is Adhibhuta? The mortal, mutable nature that we see around us is what? Adhibhuta. Nice. Now, then Adhidaivam kimuchyate, further he has asked, Purushascha-adhidaivatam. Now, this is also very important. Adhidaiva. This concept of Daiva slightly we have seen in the 18th chapter also. But here we will see again. See, now suppose we all are meeting on Zoom, isn't it? Assume we are not on Zoom. Assume we all are sitting in a physical classroom. Wow, it will be so nice getting to meet you all actually. Suppose we all are sitting in a classroom and we are able to see each other. All of a sudden, say the light goes and it becomes extremely dark. You have the capacity to see. I have the capacity to see. But because it is so dark, we will not be able to see each other. So what is required to be able to see each other? What is required to see the world around us? The light is most essential, isn't it? Without light, we will not be able to see. So the light is the means to be able to see things around us. You'll all agree, isn't it? So how important it is that we have light to be able to see something. There is a necessity of light. Similarly, there are some other means who facilitate this entire, body to work. How it is, our senses, we have five senses. Our senses are also working due to the work of some gods which are dwelling inside our body. For instance, now there are certain cases in the medical, fraternity we have seen that the person has a structurally perfect eye. The eye that it has everything, the retina, everything is perfect in shape, nothing is wrong with them, but still the drishti is not there, means they are not able to see. Why so? This is a adhidaivika dosh, means the problem with some karma, some god. Now the sun god is believed to be giving the seeing power to our sense of called eyes. We all talk that there is a god behind that also. It is believed to be the fire element is behind this. Hands Indra. There are gods. See, a very comprehensive list I do. I'm not sure, but they're all parts. Our body is functioning is with the help of, with the blessings of, with a perfect, perfect blessing or perfect happiness of certain gods. That is Adhidaiva. We say Brahmaji is created this entire world. But while this entire world is created by Brahmaji, we all know that when the Brahmaji is the God behind this. Now, for somebody who says, okay, it is you are mixing the medical and this stuff. there are proofs. The people who don't believe in this, Vedic science, Vedic science is also there. There are certain stotras, the Surya stotras. By chanting them continuously, the vision improves. Some people get back their visions also. These have been proved in Vedic sciences. This adhidaiva is a thing which medical terms completely don't understand. They have to come take that journey ahead and understand that adhidaiva in our Vedantas. So everything, so this is also very important that, we all should keep those gods within our body also very happy. If you see, some people who work around this entire, Go Mata, why it is being said, it is believed every part of the cow has a particular devta residing in it. That is why it is so pious. Everything has a scientific base. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. That ego of that science has to come down to it. The Vedic sciences have proved that by the Aradhana of Surya Bhagwan, the vision can improve. So the sun god is behind the vision. Similarly, there are many other examples. So at each level, we have to keep these gods happy. So that kind of adhishtan is particularly is done. To understand it in the normal practical terms, for instance, now let us say we all know the government of India. What is government of India? Suppose today I have a problem, say I want to get a driving license issued. I want the government of India, will I directly go to the Prime Minister office? I want a license? No. There will be a particular department, isn't it? So Aksharam Brahma is correct. It is all there. But there are departments in that Brahma also. For the particular license, I will go to the RTO, which is also part of government of India. So for this particular thing, we will visit that particular office directly. We will not go to the Prime Minister office. For everything, no need to go to Aksharam Brahma Param. For everything, there are different departments. There at every level, there is a Adhidaiva. And we have to make this happy. And then Adhiyagnya Katham. What is Adhiyagnya? Very simple answer he has given here. Adhiyagnyo hamevatra. Adhiyagnya ahameva atra. Shri Krishna is saying, means I am Adhiyagnya. So he is very much reciting in the form of Adhiyagnya. Yagnya in itself means God also. So Adhiyagnya, I am. So with that, Shri Krishna has answered the 6 questions that have been asked by Arjun. So what was the thing that he had asked in the 7th chapter ending? Sadhi bhutadhi daivam mam sadhi yajnachahi viduhu prayana kale pichamante viduryukta chetasaha with prayana kale pichaman. So he's talking about viduhu, means the learned people, the intelligent people. They are able to do what? Prayana kalepi means at the time of leaving this world also, when their atma, at the time of their death, when they are leaving this mortal world also, what happens? They are able to concentrate or focus their minds on whom? Me. And on my entire glory, Sadhi Bhutadi Daivam Sadhi Yagnya. With all this, they are able to focus, and then Prayana Kale Pichamante Vidur Yukta Chetasa. And this had, as a result of this shloka itself, Arjun had asked, so how does one focus on you while leaving this world? In response to the 7th question, Shri Krishna has answered, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati samadbhavai yati nastyatra samshayah antakale cha mameva. At the time of death, one who remembers me, and here there is a very important word, eva, mam eva. So remembers only me. So not like at the time of death, I remembering my husband also, the children also, that sari that I used to like, that also, whom to give the gold also, about my business also, that money is, and in this corner somewhere God also. No, he says, Mom, eva, only me. Our olden days, people used to be like that. So that is why gradually, as the old age used to come, they used to give away their responsibilities to the children and everything. Nowadays, it's not like that. We want to hold on to everything. So at the end moment, we are not able to focus on the eva, on the Krishna eva. So, but what Shri Krishna has said, that Antakale, at the time of death, the one who remembers me only, smaran muktva kalevaran, while remembering, he is remembering me. See, he's not even saying about saying smaran, remembering. See, what you say and what is in the mind can be two different things. Huh? Some, when we are doing jap also, sometimes people will be jap and looking here, what is the child doing? Jap kare, oh, the phone is ringing. In the mouth, Ram Ram, but in the head, something else only. So, but that is not the kind of devotion Shri Krishna is talking about here. Smaran Muktva Kalevaran, in the mind also, it should be whom? Shri Krishna himself. Yah prayati samadbhavai yati nastyatra samshayaha. Yah prayati samadbhavan, he will attain me. With, if he is remembering me alone, only me at the time of death, at the time of leaving the body, if this person is remembering me alone, then he will attain what? He will attain me. Prayati samadbhavai. And he is saying this with so much assurance. Na asti atra samshayaha. There is no doubt about this. Yati nastyatra samshaya. There is absolutely no doubt about this, that he will attain what? My heavenly abode. He will come directly to me. In connection to this only, I further here said, yam 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 vapismaran bhavan tyajatyante kalevaram. Yam yam vapismaran bhavan tyajatyante kalevaram. Tantamevaiti kaunteya sada tatbhava bhavitaha. How it is, what he is insisting in, yam yam vapismaran bhava. At the time of leaving the body, whatever is his bhav, whatever is his in mind, smaran bhava, whatever he is remembering, at the time of leaving this body, kalevaram is the body. When he's leaving this body, when he's giving up this life, that time, whatever is in his mind, whatever bhav he is remembering, tantamevaiti kaunteya, that only he will get back. So if one keeps thinking about these worldly pleasures, he's going to get stuck in this cycle of life and death eternally. However, that is why antakale cha mameva. So whatever you are going to remember, that only you are going to get. If you remember me, you will get me. If you keep remembering these worldly things, you will attain what? The worldly things. Tantamevaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitaha. That bhav you will be getting. See, that is why it is very rightly justified that Bhagavad Gita is not only the art of living, but also the art of leaving the world. And there is a whole lot of science around this leaving the world as per our scriptures. It is in itself a very, important journey. Suppose if we want to, travel somewhere, anywhere from Hyderabad to Mumbai, how is going to be the weather there? Will I need, cold clothes? Will I get good enough food? Or should I pack certain things for me? All those things we will think about. Even when we are going on a small journey, isn't it? We will prepare ourselves. After that is a larger journey. The journey after that is a very long journey. And as per our scriptures, one should prepare for that. Without any doubt, one should prepare for that. And this entire adhyay is going to help us prepare for that journey. And if this is not done, Okay, so we all are, most of us, management studies, all that. If we are not able to plan our lives only, then we keep this entire knowledge. This is important. All the knowledge, management studies, medical science, everything is important for what? The journey that we are living in this birth. But there is a big long journey that we have to plan after our death also, and that also needs to be planned, and for that journey certain preparation has to be done in this birth. We can do it in the birth of a human form only. Okay, so see, whatever journey I'm talking about, let us look at these two shlokas together, Antakale cha mameva and this one, Yang Yom Vapismaran Bhava. When I'm telling that after death, this is a long journey, for that long journey, where is the takeoff that is going to happen? Antakale, at the time of death. At the time of death, from this worldly view, it looks like the journey of life is ending, but a longer journey is taking off, isn't it? So when that journey is taking off, it should take off on a right note. Then only you will reach the right destination, isn't it? Whatever preparation, whatever karmas have been done, they are going to stay. They are going to be of lot of help to us. But at the same time, whatever we are, going the takeoff part, what destination you keep in mind, you are going to reach there. So Antakale, you have to remember me. There is a small story. I know, a little bit time pressed, but we still just for you to remember this forever. All of us know the story, so I will not tell it in long, at length. But we all know the story of Jad Bharat, the Raja Bharat. He was a Rajarshi. He was a Chakravarti Raja, Chakravarti king. But he was a very spiritual person, and he became a Rajarshi, and he went in the forest towards the end of his life. And there he did lot of meditation, job, and he had highest level of spirituality attained. But just a few, little time before that, we all know he saw a fawn, a small baby deer, flowing in the stream. He saved him and got so attached to this person who while job he will always be focused on Narayan. Now he is also focusing on cuddling that small deer, like how our grandmothers in our houses will do. No, one hand japmala, another lap, they'll have the grandchild and they will be loving that grandchild. How they will do puja, now while doing puja, oh, where is that small baby? Oh, look at that one, then do the puja. So the focus moved from Narayan to this fawn. And towards the end of their life, when Bharat was in his last moments, he was so worried about the deer that when the next birth, he was born as a deer. But though the destination happened to be deer for Raja Bharat, whatever he had done throughout his life, as a reward of that, as a result of that, what was even in the form of a deer, what happened? He had the complete memory of his previous birth, what was the mistake because of which he got this birth, everything he remembered. Then the rest of the story later, how he attained moksha. But this is an important lesson we all should always remember, that at the end moment we have to remember the God. But how is it going to happen? We don't know when it will happen. So what we should do? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmarayudhya cha mayarpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasya samshayam. Extremely important shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. See, we don't know. There is no guarantee when this last minute is going to come. Okay, we have no idea when this last minute is there. Suppose, we lot of selfies conscious people are here now. Nowadays, photo, click the photo. Suppose we, decide to click a photo, and at the same time the sneeze comes and the photo comes. What type of photo will come? So much makeup we did to get a good selfie, and just when the photo was going to be clicked, the sneeze comes and the photo gets spoiled. Similarly, at the last moment, just when a person was about to leave the body, if the wrong thought comes in mind, what will happen? Gone. The destination is going to get spoiled. So that is why to come out of this problem, what one has to do? Sarveshu kaleshu. All the time. That what is the best thing to do? At all times, remember me. Remember God at all times. And Mam Anusmara. Very important one thing we have to remember here. The word used here is not smara, but Anusmara. So smara means remembering. He's not even saying chanting, keep saying bhajans. Because when we are chanting or listening, our mind can be anywhere. But if the mind is focused, then you are devoted to God in the real sense. Right, so here the word, a very important word is anusmara. Anusmara is what? Counteracting. So if I say, I really like you, and then the person in opposite person says, me too. So me too is the anusmara. So if I say, I remember you, and the person says, me too, means God is saying here by using the word anusmara, here he is saying, I am always remembering you. You also remember me back. If you would have seen Mam Smara, means you only remember me. There is no guarantee whether I am remembering. But by using the word Anusmara, he has told a very important thing, that I am always remembering you. You remember me. Anusmara. And how? Not by mouth, not by jap. Here he is not saying chant or anything. He is saying just remember. And Yudhyacha. Now here Yudhya, because it was for Arjun, Yudhyacha. But here for us, it is not Yudhya. For us, it is all our daily work. What are our daily work? Cooking, going to office, like taking, while doing everything, just remember. So many people nowadays complain, there is no time to do puja, Didi. There is no time to attend the classes, Didi. There is no time to do, no time. But while you are doing your daily activities, remember him. Remember Krishna. Simple. Now, we know about gopis. Krishna gopis, they gopi Geet, so many. They're always, engrossed in the bhakti of Sri Krishna. The gopis of Mathura, always thinking about Sri Krishna. Did they leave all their household work and keep thinking of Sri Krishna? No. They continued their household work, everything, but during doing their regular activities, they will remember him. Our great Santa, Goraba Kumbhar, he was a potter. He continued making the pots, and while making the pots, he used to remember God. While doing our daily activities, we should keep him in our memory. That is such a small thing he's asking. Once Narada Muni had said, who is the biggest, devotee? He was very overconfident that I am the biggest devotee because I keep chanting Narayana, Narayana. So he went to Narayana and said, tell me who is your biggest devotee. Obviously, there was a slight expectation that he will say, you are. Now, Narayan is Narayan. He understood that he's asking me this question. But there is something in his mind. So he says, I'll tell you, it gave us my address. This person is my greatest devotee. Now, Narad Muni was boggled. I am doing Narayan, Narayan all the time, telling everybody else also to do Narayan, Narayan, and he's taking the name of some other person. Let me go and see. He saw then the whole day is barely getting time to do puja. He's a normal farmer doing his work, just putting, normal diya, lighting, all the basic things, and he's only just chanting and doing his work. So he came back, he said, what is so special about them? He said, normal, very ordinary farmer. And you are calling him a great devotee. Narayan said, okay, I'll give you one task. You complete that task and I'll tell you. He says, okay. He said, there is a well. And this is a bucket. You fill the entire bucket with water and bring it here. But mind you, not a single drop of the water should fall on the ground. Not a single drop. Narad Muni said, fairly easy, I will do it. He went, he pulled the bucket out of water very carefully, came back and gave it back to him. He said, see Narayana, not even a single drop fell down. He was very happy. Good, you achieved the task. While you were focusing on the water, that it doesn't fall, how many times did you remember me? Narad Muniji said, I was so focused on the water at that time, I didn't say Narayana. He said, see, it is so difficult. When you are doing your work, it was so difficult for you to focus on me. But look at that farmer. While he is doing his other works, he is able to focus on me. And that is the reason he is my greatest devotee. And on that note, we understand that we should always remember this Narayan. See, this is a very important thing we should do. How should this focus be? That also can be understood by the example for mother. When mother is doing the household work, no matter what busy work she is doing, if she has a small little child, the thought of that child, what is that kid doing? If he's sleeping also, oh, I hope he's not falling down from the bed. One eye, one hair, one thought will always be behind that child. Like that, our work should be. Always, no matter what you are doing, always focused on whom? Narayana. Always focused on Shri Krishna. And how to do so is in the next shlokas. I plan to take those. So today one shloka also, but we'll do it cover it in the next session. So on that note, we have to understand how the importance of Bhagavad Gita, this chapter, in order to make our lives very meaningful. The people keep running around different things, but this knowledge is unique. This human birth is unique, and the knowledge that we can get in this birth, we cannot get in any other birth. So let us pray to Shri Krishna that may, he bless us with the intellect to understand what all he has told in this Akshara Brahma Yoga. On that note, this entire discourse I will offer at the lotus feet of Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swamiji. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. So yeah. If there are any questions.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you very much for your very simple and humble interpretation of this very highly philosophical chapter. The session is now open for some healthy question answers. So all those who have doubts, kindly raise your hand and also switch on your videos.
Sorry, it took a little long, and I'm extremely thankful to all of you for this patient listening.
Yeah. Kindly raise hand if there is any doubt. Yes, Dr. Jaya by Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jaya Didi. Jai Shri Krishna, Jaya Didi. Pranam.
Jai Shri Krishna. It's not a doubt, but see, we were learning about Brahma as the creator. He is the God. And we know of Narayan also. And after joining Bhagavad Gita classes at Geeta Parivar, for me, everything is in Shri Krishna. Our Guruji is, I say Shri Krishna and Guruji also. He is in front of us. Now, whom shall we think of all the time?
Whoever you think about. See, Shri Krishna has told you, in whatever form you are remembering me, you will get you will get the blessings in that form, isn't it? So, if whatever form you want to do the bhakti, you can do. And this is the beauty of our Indian scriptures. We always say this is the beauty of our Indian scriptures. There is no compulsion that is you love only Shri Krishna, you love only one. It is your interest. According to your interest, you can be devoted to the God you feel like being devoted to.
He says Mama Smaran. No?
Huh? Nama Smaran you should do of the
No,
God.
Smaran. Mame Smaran.
Mamanusmaran. Mamanusmaran by Mamanusmaran. All are parts of Shri Krishna only, Didi. Ultimately, all the pranam that we are doing is ultimately going to Krishna only. So through him, everything is going to Krishna only. We've seen this in the 9th chapter, isn't it?
So, Didi, why I'm getting this doubt? I'm new to Adhyatma only last 2 years.
So am I.
I'm not. So,
All of us.
but they say Shri Krishna in Maharshi Vyasaji in whole Mahabharata addressed him as Shri Krishna, Keshava. But in Bhagavad Gita, it is Shri Bhagavan.
Shri Bhagavan.
So this Bhagavan. Yeah, so that Bhagavan, why Vyasmuni made this distinction then?
Because
If
at
God
that
can be
second-
called by any name.
God cannot be, it can be called by any name, but so just because he can be called at by any name, but while he was in this conversation, he was united, he was in his Parabrahma form. So when we were talking about the Krishna and Krishna opening his mouth, there is a difference in these two states. That difference was there in these two states before the Yuddha, and when he was telling this Bhagavad Gita, he was in a different state, and that state only Bhagwan Vyas Muni had has the vision, has the capacity to understand that, and he has rightfully addressed it as Sri Bhagavan Vacha. And sometimes, because you just said that I'm new to Adhyatma, so am I, as I tell you. When we are new, I think the gates automatically open if our bhav is, pure. Sometimes, that capacity we have a very limit, and as human beings, there is a limitation of our intellect, and everything cannot come, in one go.
At
So
one.
we have to breathe and slowly, one sip at a time. I always say, one sip at a time, gradually, and the doors will keep opening. So from what we had, the understanding that I had around 19 years ago when I started studying Bhagavad Gita, from that till now, little bit, one or two doors have little bit open. There are thousands more which yet remain to be open. This is a Jnana Sagar, and we are barely at one droplet. So there is a lot more that we are yet to understand. So yeah, let us continue on this journey.
Thank you. It was a very, very tonic like those. I never like to miss them. I had to go, one line I missed. Important line.
I really appreciate your devotion, Jaya Didi. Ji, Indira
Geeta
Didi.
Didi is Jaya Didi is a very devoted volunteer of Geeta Parivar.
Yes,
We now go to Indira ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Indira ji, please ask your question.
Yeah. Didi, another small doubt. Can we understand Adhiyagya as the reflected consciousness or as per the Sankhya philosophy
Yes, Didi.
or supreme consciousness? Then the concept of Maya will come. The universe is the Maya. Should we equate it with the reflected
The Maya.
consciousness?
The
of Sankhya?
Maya, no, yeah, see, Sankhya, the view that Sankhya Darshan.
Ma'am, sorry, I want to understand the word Adhyagya. Is it reflected consciousness or the supreme consciousness?
It is the reflected consciousness.
It's the reflected consciousness. Okay, right. So now I think it's clear to me. So the universe in the third sloka, what he has said, this is the Maya or the creation within the appearances, or you call the Maya of the Brahma, which is appearing to us.
See, Maya of a Brahma is a different thing. So Maya will lead to, it's more, Naneshwar Maharaj always says it's like the wife of, the Purush. So Purush is the consciousness that we are talking about here. The Chetana. And Maya is also, it is the matter, whatever matter is created around us. Okay, so we are a part of the Maya, and within us lies the Chetana, within us lies the
consciousness.
Yes.
Okay.
With my limited interest.
Thank you, Didi. Anushka Didi, to ask the next question. Please switch on your video. Anushka Pawar Didi.
You can ask.
Yes, Didi. Yes. Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Very sorry, Didi, couldn't start my video. Actually, my
That's
internet
okay.
is getting.
No problem, Didi. You can ask. Yeah.
Yes, Didi. Didi, actually, I wanted to ask that, as Sri Bhagavan said, like we have to understand ourselves before, as the Brahma settles in us. So, how can we know us? How, like, what should our process be like? How can we know us?
This thing about how we can know us, at many multiple places in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna has told. Primarily in the 6th chapter also, even in the next few chapters, in the next few shlokas, gradually we will come to know. This is a big topic of discussion, and to first understand how to know ourselves, first we have to unite with the God by our actions, by our thoughts. We have to, first step would be to unite, and then gradually move towards meditating upon him, and that is where the further course of action depends. So first step would always be remembering him and focusing on him, uniting him with him mentally. And then you see, now with so much distractions, and if my mind is not focused on God, if I think about meditating and trying to understand myself, it doesn't easily happen. It will not come to you very easily because we are distracted. The first thing, we have to control our senses, and then that's where the process begins. I think she's disconnected.
Yes. Thank you. Mamta Didi can ask the question. Please unmute and ask.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi, pranam. Need to unmute, Didi.
Please unmute.
Is it on me now?
Yes,
You can
yes,
listen.
it is. Yes.
Okay, Didi, you are explaining so clean and clear, but 3 words I can identify. I don't identify. That is adhibhuta or adhibhuta, adhidaiva, adhiyajna. 3 things.
Three
3
things.
things, and you are telling 3 times, but it is mismatched with me.
Yeah. So you can again see these concepts are not something that very easily in first thing we can get. You can definitely listen to the interpretation again. But in short, I will tell you adhibhuta. Adhibhuta, bhuta means everything that is around us. Then with the perishable world, the perishable world around us, that is adhibhuta. Then how do we know? This is the definition of adhibhuta. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. Whatever is perishable around us is adhibhuta. Adhidaiva.
It means living things.
Living, non-living, everything, Didi. Bhuta means everything that is created. Everything that is created means bhuta. Bhuta bhava udbhavaha means whatever, the very existence. When something is created, it is bhuta, and that is adhibhuta. Then Adhiyajna is the God himself. God himself is referred to as Yajna. See, when we say Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, we devote every karma to Krishna. We are actually offering it as a Yajna to Krishna. And why? As an offering, it is a karma Yajna. This entire thing, when we say Krishna Arpanamastu, within ourselves, the God is residing. He will, be able to accept it. Adhiyajna. He is the God which is within us. Adhidaiva. Adhidaiva. Daiva means the gods in middle, जैसे बुद्धि की देवता, आंखों की देवता, the gods of the hand, like that. So behind each of the senses, behind each of the 5 senses, there is a God which is responsible for its proper functioning. This has been in depth explained in our Vedic sciences. Not going into the details of it, but that Surya Devata, we consider Surya as a Devata, and it is believed that it is responsible for a good vision, good eyesight. So pleasing that. See, Adi Daiva, it is also coming in the 18th chapter. Now, for one example, I can give you in this Adi Daiva to make you and it will help you understand it better. Is suppose you are going for an exam, beautiful preparation you have done, learned all chapters thoroughly, everything you have completed. After doing that excellent preparation of the exams also, while going to the exam, suppose it rains, or suppose the exam is in another city, and while traveling you don't reach the city on its time. This is Daiva. This is your fortune, whatever is this. So this is Adi Daiva. So this is the situations, but the blessings which we say, that all things should be favorable. Now, here I would also like to add one more sentence. Adi Daiva is the gods behind all our senses, behind all our karma, whatever blessings are there, the gods are there. That is Adi Daiva. We are so lucky that everything is working fine for us, isn't it? So yeah, so that is Adi Daiva.
Thank you, Didi. You are explaining, or you are listening whatever our problems and explaining so clearly. Thank you very much. We
I
are
am also
waiting
thankful to you. Unless you all are there to listen, my talking has no meaning. So I'm extremely blessed to have such very dedicated and sincere listeners and audience. At the same time, extremely grateful to Swamiji. Without him, this is not possible. I am not having any intellect to do this. It's only the blessings of Swamiji that is making me do it. So, Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Srikanji, you can ask your question. We have a few minutes left.
Shri Krishna, Didi.
Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Shrikant.
In Mamanusmara Yudhyacha, I can understand, I can remember God during some time, like walking, etc., etc., some doing work, cooking, etc. But in some type of work, like when we think and do, suppose I am doing a sales presentation, something, at that time, how we can achieve that?
When this one of the ways is when you start work, start with a prayer. Now we start our Zoom Kaksha. We'll start with Vasudeva Sutana and we'll end it with Yogesham. So what happens when you're starting with a bhav that now whatever I'm going to do, Krishna, I'm offering it to you. So suppose you're starting your sales presentation. Before that you say, Krishna, whatever I'm doing this presentation, it is with your blessings, it is for you. And when you're ending, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So that entire work of presentation, whether at that time you have been able to remember him or not, that presentation has been offered at the feet of Shri Krishna. Everything that you have done during the presentation is offered to Shri Krishna. So easy. Start the work with the name, end the work, every task with its name. That's start your day, and if even that some people find it difficult, so let us make one small practice. Start the day with Karagare Vasde Lakshmi, Kar Pranam Tere Charano Me Lagta Hu Main Tere Kaaj. Whatever I'm going to do today, everything offered, because I don't remember to do it every time, no. So let me just do it at the start of the day. All actions get devoted. Shortcut also is there. And when before sleeping, whatever I have done today, I offer it at your feet. Even more easier, isn't it?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mohana Didi can ask her question now.
Didi, excellent, and very simple, easy explanation. Very easy to understand. Just a little thing, Didi, about you were talking about the brain, about when the physical eye is great and still the person cannot see. But as a scientist, as a doctor, I can still explain and tell you that what is wrong. Okay. And then when we explain it to somebody else, they won't accept this explanation, right? But the other one, when you said, people have improved their vision with the Sun Stotra, the mantras, that I take it, because with his grace, anything is possible.
So basically, Didi, you are saying 4 plus 2 is 6, I will take. But
Okay,
6
correct.
minus 4 is 2, that you will not take.
No, Didi, that is not. I'm saying the scientific. I am not saying that, Didi. A scientific, if I put it to my daughter, who is a PhD, she wants scientific explanation.
Everybody doesn't need to agree with everything. Certain things we just agree to disagree, and when their time to learn Bhagavad Gita will come, they'll automatically start.
Not that she will be again. She'll say, Mom, this is not the way. This is Vedanta. This is how you have to take that. I'm just talking about the new generation, Didi. But the one thing she will agree, that by his grace, the blind can see the stotra. You said about the sun mantras, that which says it will happen. So what is it for brains, for special needs children who, we can do this, because I work among them. So I just want to know if there is something for
I
autism.
don't know about the specific mantra. See, I told you, my knowledge is very limited. But from what latest I've heard, that all the Shakti, we all are learning Hanuman Chalisa, no? Swamiji
Yes.
always says that for anybody's intellect to improve, we should follow Hanuman Chalisa. We have to do Aradhana of Hanuman. Let us try that. Because definitely it will have a lot of impact. So yes,
These children,
yes, let us try. But yes, this is a very interesting thing. Sometime when I get to meet somebody much more knowledgeable than me, I'll definitely try to ask this to the person. But at the moment, I can only think about Hanumanji.
So that's always permanently. Didi, and I do this yad yat karma karomi tad tad akhilam shambho tava aradhana. Shivamanas puja. That is the word I use for early morning, in between, just starting the class, before I do Zoom tech work, anything.
Really nice
That is the
knowing
only
these
thing.
experiences also. Very beautiful. Really,
So
pranam.
this is what, it's easy to say, and all the gods are covered.
Very nice. Pranam to you, Didi. Very nice.
Very nice, Mohana Didi. I don't think anyone has any slightest of the doubt left still. Thank you, Shraddha Didi, once again for your most humble style. We are really touched by your very simplicity, I'll say. And yes. So I take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers of Geeta Parivar, the entire team, for making this interpretation session happen. And most of our thanks to all the valued audience for your presence and making this session successful. Now for concluding prayer, I call Meenakshi Ji Beligotta. Meenakshi Ji joined Geeta Parivar since January 2022, and she is working as a code trainer, tech assistant, GC, and also Vivechan translator from Hindi to Telugu. Great job, Didi. Over to you for Samapan Prarthana.
Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. Yogesham Sachidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Viram Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you all. We all will meet.
Didi has been thanking everybody, but thanks to you also, Mother Shri Didi, for the very pleasant,
Thank you very much. And so we shall meet again next week, next Saturday, same time, for the interpretation of remaining part of this beautiful chapter by the sweet and humble voice of Shraddha Didi. Thank you all. Take care.
Hanuman
Stay safe.
Chalisa. Hanuman Chalisa. We have to do the Hanuman Chalisa.
Hanuman Chalisa. Before we depart, let us all recite Hanuman Chalisa.
Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Mana Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghuvara Bimala Jasu Jodaya Kuphalachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavana Kumar Balabudhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kale Savikar जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति हूँ लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस वदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
सभी को जय श्री कृष्ण, बहुत बहुत lot of thanks.
जय श्री राम।
We all shall meet next week, Saturday, for the interpretation of remaining part of this chapter. Take care.